My amiable students, today I will explain you about modern writing in English literature, modern writing in English from different parts of the world, and I will talk about Salman Rushdie today. Understood? Salman Rushdie. His full name is Ahmad Salman Rushdie. Understood? He was born on 19 June in 1947 in Bombay Presidency. Understood? Sir Ahmad Salman Rushdie is a British Indian novelist. Understood? Sir Ahmad Salman Rushdie is a British Indian novelist. His second novel, Midnight Children. Won the Booker Prize in 1981. In 1981, his second novel, Midnight Children, won the Booker Prize and was deemed to be, understood, the best novel of all winners. So it considered as the best novel on two separate occasions and marking 25th and 40th anniversary of the prize. So Midnight Children, it won the Booker Prize in 1981 and was deemed to be the best novels of all winners. It was considered as the best novel of all winners. Understood? Let's go to the next point. Rushdie's first novel was Grimos. Understood? It was published in 1975 and it was a part of science of fiction. Understood? It was a part of the fiction of science. And it was generally ignored by the public and the literary critics. Which one? Grimos. And it was published in 1975 and it was a part science of fiction. Understood? And because of this creation, Salman Rushdie was generally ignored by the public and literary critics. Let's go to the next point. His famous book, The Satanic Verses. So The Satanic Verses was published in 1988. His fourth novel, The Satanic Verses, was the subject of a major controversy. Because of this creation, Salman Rushdie came across the controversy. Understood? Provoking protest from Muslims in several countries. And because of this creation, Salman Rushdie faced a lots of protest. Understood? A lots of problems, a lot of controversy, provoking protest from Muslims in several countries because of the Satanic Verses. Understood? Death threats were made against him because of this creation, because it created controversy for him. That's why death threats were also made against Salman Rushdie for the Satanic Verses, including a fatwa calling for his assassination issued by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Understood? The supreme leader of Iran, on 14 February 1989. Because of which one? Because of the Satanic Verses. Understood? The British government put Rushdie under protection. That's why the British government's kept Rushdie in a police protection, under the police protection. Let's go to the next point and we shall briefly discuss about Midnight Children. So Midnight Children was originally published in 1981. His next novel, Midnight Children, catapulted him to literary notability. This work won the 1981 Booker Prize. In 1993 and 2008 was awarded, but in 1993 and 2008 was awarded the best book of the Bookers. Which one? Midnight Children. And it was also considered as the best novel to have received the prize during first 25 and 40 years. Which one? Midnight Children. Let's know some key points on Midnight Children. Midnight Children. It was published in 1981. Midnight Children is considered as the past colonial novel containing all aspects of past colonial literature. It is the story about clash between two religions. Understood? This is the story. Midnight Children is a story about the clash between two religions. Which are those two religions? Hindu and Muslim. After that, Salim, Shiva and Parvati are the main characters in this novel. So my lovable students, you have to mug up it. Salim, and they were born on 15 August in 1947, and they were the protagonist characters in this novel. Salim, Shiva and Parvati. Understood? Let's go to the next point. Magic and realism in Midnight Children. Magic and realism in Midnight Children. In past colonial literature, we generally found that many writers used this term in their writings. Which one? Magic and realism. In past colonial literature, we generally found that many writers used this term in their writings. In this method of literature, in describing the imagining life of indigenous culture that experience the mythical, magical and supernatural in decidedly different fashion from Western world. I am repeating this line again, my lovable students. Take a glance on it. In this method, which one? Magic and realism. In this method of literature, in describing the imagining life of indigenous culture that experience the mythical, magical and supernatural in decidedly different fashion from Western world. So RUSHDIE used his magic realism in his book Midnight Children. My lovable students, you should mug up it this one. Which one? So RUSHDIE used his magic realism. Which realism? Magic realism in his book Midnight Children, which was published in 1981. Let's go to the next point. What has mentioned here? What I have mentioned here. He used of magic realism as a narrative technique is intentional. So he used of magic realism as a narrative technique which is intentional. Understood? Let's know about same. What is same? Same. RUSHDIE's third novel published in 1983. Understood? Which was same. RUSHDIE's third novel, it was RUSHDIE's third novel and it was published in 1983. This book was written out of desire. Understood? Out of interest. To approach the problem of artificial country divisions, the residents, complicity and the problem. Originally published, it was originally published on 8 September in 1983. After that, The Golden House, it was published in 2007 by SALMAN RUSHDIE. This is the 13th novel and it was set in Mumbai and New York. This novel was set in which one? The Golden House. It was published in 2007 and it was set in Mumbai and New York. Originally, it was published on 7 August. Which one? The Golden House. It was published on 7 August in 2017, my lovable students. Unfortunately, I have printed this one. It will be 17. It was published on 7 August in 2017. Imaginary Homelands is a collection. Imaginary Homelands is a collection of essays written by SALMAN RUSHDIE. Understood? Imaginary Homelands. Take a glance on it. Imaginary Homeland is a collection of essays written by SALMAN RUSHDIE, covering a wide variety of topics. Understood? In this collection of stories, he had counted in covering a wide variety of topics. In addition to the title essay, the collection also including The collection also includes Commonwealth literature. Understood? It does not exist Salman Rushdie's imaginary homelands. Understood? Which is an essay that an anti-essential view of place. So, Imaginary Homelands, it was published in 1991. The Moors, it will be the Moors Last Sigh is the fifth novel. This is the fifth novel published in 1995 and it was published in the cities of Bombay and Cochin. My lovable students, you should mug up it. The Moors Last Sigh was the fifth novel published in 1995. It is set in cities of Bombay and Cochin. So eventually I have kept 5 multiple choice questions on Salman Rushdie. After that I will also consist some videos on the modern writing in English of the different parts of the world. I will explain more about it, and eventually now I have kept 5 multiple choice questions on Salman Rushdie. Let's start. When were Satanic Verses published? My lovable students, take a glance on it. Which is the correct one? I have explicated, I have mentioned 4 options here. When were Satanic Verses published? Option A. Pick out the correct one. Its correct option is option B. The Satanic Verses was published in 1988. Let's go to the next question. When Shiba and Salim, the protagonists of Midnight Children, were born. When Shiba and Salim, the protagonists of Midnight Children, were born. Option A, 1st January 1998. B, 1st May 1947. C, 15 August 1947. D, 10 October 1947. Pick out the correct one. Its correct option is option C, 15 August 1947. What has Salman Rushdie said about soccer? What has Salman Rushdie said about soccer? Option A, working class self-expression. B, opera of the people. C, a game in which everyone does a lot of running around. D, a sport where the players actually enjoy getting hit in the head by ball. My lovable students, pick out the correct one. Its correct option is option A, working class self-expression. Let's go to the next question. In Moore's Last Sigh, how many sisters does Moore have? In Moore's Last Sigh, how many sisters does Moore have? Option A, 1, B, 3, C, 2, D, 4. Its correct option is option B, 3. In Moore's Last Sigh, Moore has 3 sisters. Let's go to the last question. In Howrah and the Sea of Stories. In Howrah and the Sea of Stories, what is not used to describe Rashid? Option A, Ocean of Notions. B, Gift of the Gab. C, Jaw of Smoke. D, Shah of Blah. Its correct option is option C, Jaw of Smoke. So my lovable students, keep watching my videos to brush up your knowledge on English to brush up your knowledge on English literature. Thanks a lot. May God bless you. Have a lovable life.